What's up guys and welcome back to Platinum Reviews, the show in which I review my latest Platinum trophy. Today we'll be diving back into the LEGO series with LEGO DC Supervillans. Before we start, I'd like to give a special thanks to Infinity Blaze, who suggested we review LEGO DC Supervillans over in the YouTube comment section. Remember, you can always suggest a Platinum review down below in the comment section as well, just like Infinity Blaze did, and it may just be the next episode of Platinum Reviews. Who knows? LEGO DC Supervillans was released by Warner Bros. Games on the 16th of October 2018 and developed by our favourite developers, Traveller's Tales. They once again received outstanding reviews across the board, which admittedly is to be expected with LEGO games, as they never seem to fail to deliver that wholesome LEGO fun that we've all grown to know and love. Even 3 years later, LEGO DC Supervillans still gets constant 5-star reviews. That in itself should be a testimony as to just how fun this game is. This installment in the series is considered the 4th game in the LEGO Batman series, and for the first time since LEGO Batman 1, we not only get to play as the heroes, but actually get to play as the villains of the DC universe as well, including the iconic Joker, Harley Quinn, General Zod, and of course Condiment King. Condiment King? Okay, so not every character in the game is an iconic legend of the DC universe, but I just love the fact that they keep adding all these random and not so well known characters. It really makes you want to look into their backstory and learn more about the DC universe. Take Condiment King for example. I remember seeing his first appearance on the Batman the Animated Series, but until playing LEGO DC Supervillans I actually had no idea he'd made his way into the comics, and that's why I love these games so much. Not only are they silly and fun, but they can actually teach people about the comic book universes. Even a self-proclaimed comic nerd like myself always discovers something new or finds an interesting character to fall in love with when playing these games, just like me with Condiment King. But that's enough of me rambling on. Let's see what today's game is all about. Set in the iconic DC universe, we start our story off in Stryker's Island. We take control of the Rookie, our very own customisable villain, after Lex Luthor and Mercy Graves help us escape and enlist him in our services. Meanwhile, the Joker and Harley Quinn break into Wayne Enterprises and steal a mother box from the labs, before quickly being chased down by the Justice League. But before long, both teams are stopped in their tracks by a group known as the Justice Syndicate, who are a superhero team, sort of, from a parallel universe, who warp the Justice League away before departing. Harley witnesses the Syndicate forcibly warp the Justice League away, giving us the indication that something isn't quite right about the so-called Justice Syndicate. From here you will play as both villains and heroes while gathering all the usable collectibles along the way and finding a new DC hero or villain to fall in love with. But I'm not here to tell you all about the story of the game. I'm here to give you my honest thoughts and opinions on it. If you want to know the story, I highly suggest you experience it for yourself. It's definitely worth the time and you won't regret it. With that in mind, let's take a look at the gameplay. So, gameplay wise, it doesn't differ too much from the rest of the LEGO games. Stripped down to its very basic core mechanics, we have the usual story missions of 15 in this case, along with 5 bonus missions and a selection of overworlds, or hubworlds as I like to call them, from all over the DC universe, and of course there's the staple collectibles, which we have to admit is always fun and one of the reasons I keep returning to this game. So let me tell you about the collectibles which you'll find in LEGO DC Supervillans then. Minikits, there are a total of 100 to collect, which is 5 in each of the 20 levels. It's usually around 10 if I'm not mistaken, so the fact that it's only 5 this time around seems a bit odd, but it's quite nice to have just a bit less to collect, I suppose. Then there are character tokens. I believe in total there are a total of 123 to collect. Now I'm not counting any character tokens which are just unlocked automatically through gameplay. So there is obviously a lot more characters, but these are just the ones that we're going to focus on collecting. They're spread out throughout the game. Then of course we have everybody's favourite red bricks. There are 20 in total, 1 in each of the mission stages I believe. It's been a while since I've done a Platinum review and it's hard to keep note of everything. I'm a bit rusty, so you'll have to bear with me on this one. Yeah, but these are my favourite bricks. They're always simple and easy to collect. It usually just requires a challenge or coming back to a level with a certain character just to use their ability. Very easy to get, very useful in the game, so I always focus my attempts on getting the red bricks because it can help get the achievements later on that we might need. Of course, after red bricks there are the gold bricks. These equate to about 200 in total. 80 gold bricks are collected automatically. There's 4 in each stage for completing each stage challenges and 120 in the overworlds. Next we're going to look at challenges, which are a collection of 15 themed objectives which are all in the overworlds. Each challenge rewards you with a gold brick and usually consists of a fetch quest or that type of thing. Stuff we're pretty much used to now within the LEGO series, so it's not too bad. Having come into playing LEGO DC Supervillans after playing LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, I found it wasn't as tedious as LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2, but that's just my honest opinion. See for yourself what you think and let me know in the comments. And finally we have Picture Perfect. There is one picture perfect moment in each story stage and none in the overworld, so that leaves us a total of 20. It is important to note that Picture Perfect requires a character with the graffiti ability to collect, which includes Joker, Harley Quinn, Riddler and a few more to name, so just make sure you have at least one of these characters with the graffiti ability when going to get the Picture Perfects. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt. I was just in the middle of editing LEGO DC Supervillans and I realised I completely forgot to mention the 9 golden statues. I always pronounce that wrong. Anyway, there is 9 to collect. You need gold bricks to collect them and a character with the graffiti ability. The first one requires you to have 10 gold bricks, then 20 gold bricks and so on and so forth, no matter which order that you do them in. I forgot to add it to the script and I forgot to do it during editing, so I'm just going to pop this here now so you know. Right, back to the video. As with all LEGO games, the controls are simple and easy to get used to. When I originally got the Platinum Trophy for LEGO DC Supervillans about 2 years ago, I remember not having any issues with the combat, and it felt like every other LEGO game, only slightly less glitchy than most. Going back into the game, I found the controls still held up. They felt natural, almost like my muscle memory was taking over, even though I hadn't really played a LEGO game in 5 or 6 months, and it felt like only yesterday since I did. Anyone that's played a LEGO game in the past will know the core basics of the game. Complete story levels, 20 in this case, 15 main story and 5 bonus. Collect all characters via puzzles or buy them from in the store or various other ways of doing it. Then use those characters' unique skills to unlock more characters and collectibles. It's very copy and paste format, but this game doesn't feel like a copy and paste reskin of the same game over and over again. Unlike some games that like to copy and paste their main features every year. FIFA, COD. LEGO DC Supervillans actually feels like a new game. Yes, we have the series staples and mainstays, and yes, gameplay feels very identical to other games in the series, but rest assured, this is a good thing. It's a prime example of how sequels to games should be. We shouldn't have to learn a whole new game and mechanics as well as controls just to play a sequel. It should feel familiar. It should feel like playing the original, in which we fell in love with the series in the first place, while always adding that something extra to make the game new and better, and getting rid of the things we hated about the original. So that's why, in my opinion, the LEGO games are the perfect series, and LEGO DC Supervillans is a perfect example of this. It mixes the old gameplay mechanics with new and interesting mechanics as well as a fantastic story. So if you haven't already, please give it a playthrough for yourself and you will be saying the exact same stuff as me. I almost guarantee it. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give the gameplay portion of this review a whopping 9 out of 10 because I feel it's fun for all ages, easy enough to complete, and of course there's plenty of things to do within the game to keep us entertained for hours on end, as well as it being super satisfying to get all the collectibles. God, I'm like a collectibles addict at this point. Oh, give me those gold bricks, yes, that feels so damn good. Well, with my thoughts on the game out of the way, let's get to why we are here, the Platinum Trophy. So, let's get to the stats. LEGO DC Supervillans has a total of 46 trophies to collect, consisted of 32 bronze trophies, 10 silver trophies, 3 gold trophies, and that gorgeous Platinum Trophy. As with all LEGO games, none of these trophies are actually missable, thanks to the game's free play mode, so we don't need to worry about that here. As with all LEGO games, LEGO DC Supervillans is by no means a difficult game, therefore I give it a 2 out of 10, which has been a pretty consistent difficulty rating throughout the LEGO series, so we do have that as a positive. Round of applause for consistency there, Traveller's Tales. The Platinum Trophy took me around roughly 47 hours to achieve, but I feel this is because I'm just a little bit rusty coming into this trophy hunt, and I was constantly taking notes. I would say this trophy should take roughly 35 to 40 hours to complete depending on how well you plan it, so let me know in the comments how long it took you. I'm really interested to see how my time compares to yours, considering how rusty I am and that I haven't platinum hunted in a good 6-7 months now. Who knows, I may even try speedrun the platinum trophy sometime and see if I can beat your times. Let me know if you want to see me attempt that. Maybe on a future live stream over on Twitch or via a video here on YouTube. Just write your times in the description and I might just do my best to try beat them. And finally, this is the part where we look at some of the trophies worth pointing out and keeping an eye on. As none of these trophies are missable, this section will be more my guide on how to complete a select few of them. But just remember, this is not supposed to be a tutorial on achieving a platinum trophy, just a few tips that may help. If you need any advice or help, just please feel free to ask me in the comment section. I usually respond within the hour or at the very least the same day. So with all that being said, the first trophy we'll be taking note of is Read All About It. The reason I want to point this one out is there are reports of it being bugging on people and not counting, or simply just some people not realising that they actually need to do this. So all we have to do for this trophy is, after collecting all the mini kits, head on over to the Daily Planet, and once inside you'll see a wall covered in newspapers. Just simply look at each of these newspapers and the trophy should pop. If it doesn't, simply just reload your game, look at them again, and it should pop then. It's really that simple, but it seems to cause a lot of problems for people. Fingers crossed you're like me and don't actually run into this bug. Next up is Court of Owls, another simple one to get, but always worth making note of. All we have to do here is have Owlman and Talon together in a party. Owlman can be purchased for 150,000 stubs and Talon can be found in the hub world in Coffin. You'll need to complete a couple of quests or collect a few gold bricks in order for this quest line to even appear on the map, but once it does, complete it and you can purchase him for 250,000 stubs. From then, just switch out both characters to Owlman and Talon for the trophy to pop. There's a few trophies like this, and there always has been in LEGO games, where you need to use two characters at the same time. I'd focus on these last after collecting the character tokens and just playing around with the combinations, making a note of which characters unlock on which trophies and who they should be partnered with. Here's a fun little trophy I just want to point out, just purely for its fun factor, and it is Thrill Rider. Simply just go to the amusement mile and have fun on the rides. It's that easy. Some rides will require you to have a certain number of gold bricks, so probably best doing this when you have them all. It's just to save coming back and forth, but it's just a fun trophy and I just enjoyed this one for some reason. It always stood out to me, so this one really was fun. The rides you have to play on are pretty simple as well. It's just the bumper cars, the roller coaster, the Ferris wheel, the merry-go-round, and that giant spiral slide. I just thought this was a fun trophy and I just wanted to point it out. And lastly, I want to talk about a trophy that really annoys me when you try to look at a guide for it or some sort of tips or a walkthrough, and that is Ticket to Glide. I found this trophy incredibly easy. All I did was switch to a character who could fly. I flew all the way up to the top of the hub world as far as it would let me, and once I'd hit max height, I just switched to Batman and then I just glided for 60 seconds. I know what you're thinking, like, that seems really simple and the obvious solution, but you would be amazed how many videos I've seen of people doing all these weird tricks and special tips, pointing out certain locations that is apparently the only place you can do this, well, blah blah blah. Honestly, in my opinion, it's as simple as just flying high, switching to Batman, and just gliding as you fall. It is that simple. Ignore all these other videos that try to get you to do all this stupid stuff. It doesn't matter. Just do it anywhere, fly up, glide, done. Simple as that. Well guys, that's all for the trophies that I wanted to point out. Just because they're rather simple, and sometimes people give you more complicated solutions than what you need. I figured I'd tell you the easiest ways of getting these complicated ones that I've found. And after all, if I was to go over every trophy here, what would we have to debate down in the comment section? But as always, feel free to ask me for any help or advice on certain trophies. I'm always happy to help. That is what I'm here for. And with all that, it's time to end. Once again, I would like to thank Infinity Blaze for the suggestion, and of course to thank everybody watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button or drop me a comment. It really gives me the motivation to keep making these when I see the interactions down there. And finally, if you want to watch us play games live, we do live stream almost every day over on Twitch at twitch.tv/gamingrebooted. I'll leave a link in the description. So until next time, guys and girls, take care, and of course, go get that platinum trophy.